When I was, I think, 13, I got a part in a Robert Altman film, Images, and how I got that was quite strange. My stepfather and mother and my family, siblings, we were on holiday in Spain, staying in a little villa of some kind, doing our yoga, and we went to a party at a hotel which we were invited to, or my stepfather was invited to, by Hugh Millet, who my stepfather used to go running with the bulls in Pamplona with, so he'd known him a long time. And I was in the swimming pool, and this bearded man swam alongside me and said, "What's your name?" And we got talking, and then he said, "I'm making a movie, you might want to be in it." And I said, "Oh, well, I've done a movie, I did one just over a year ago." And he went, "Oh, okay, well, interesting, I'll get in touch with you." So I gave him my agent's name, and I didn't hear from him for months, so I thought that was all over. And then my agent got in touch and said, "Robert Altman wants you to be in Images." And I was very excited, and it was being filmed in Ireland, I think very near Bray Studios, because I think we filmed quite a bit in Bray Studios. And the plan was that, as Altman liked to do, there would be a lot of improvisation. So we all got together. There was Susanna York, Hugh Millet, and we all got together in a room and started swapping stories and ideas about what we'd like to be. And I was playing Hugh's daughter. And then Robert had the idea that we should all swap names, so that Susanna would be called Catherine, I'd be called Susanna, Hugh was called Renee. Anyway, we all swapped names. And then improvised scenes with a sort of rough outline of what was going to occur. And I remember Hugh Millet was playing Susanna York's, one of her lovers, and I was his daughter. So I resented her in the film. And we did a scene that was the shot on me and me talking to her, being quite serious. And then there was a shot on Susanna, and Robert whispered to me at the end of the scene, "Stick your tongue out at her." Susanna kept a straight face. Then when she got to the end of the scene, she did the biggest raspberry I've ever seen. And Robert liked us to go to the rushes, and he kept it in so we could watch it in the rushes, and that was funny. That was very funny. I didn't have a chaperone. Whoops. There, but I was very well looked after, especially René Auberjonois used to take me, him and his wife used to take me into Dublin, and he'd let me put my hand on the steering wheel and pretend I was driving, which was quite difficult when you're sitting not in the driver's seat, but it stood me in good stead in the end. And I stayed in touch with Robert and his wife, also called Catherine, and used to see them in London sometimes, and really felt very fond of him and very fond of what he allowed me to do, because, you know, it's early adolescence, and I myself had just come from a broken relationship. Well, not myself, my parents had split, so it was all quite raw, and Robert was very compassionate, so that was good. Everyone was, actually, and they all had a good time together. It was Ireland. I think the subject matter made it rather cathartic, actually, because it's a strange thing, acting, I think, that it's always going to be you, it can't be someone else. But if you're channeling feelings through the embodiment of someone else, part of someone else, you can release stuff that you might not feel able to in real life. So you can explore it, real feelings, but without sinking in them. There is some speculation that Susanna York was the author of the source material, but as I was involved in the creation, along with everyone else, of so much of what actually was filmed, I think that where that comes from is that she was writing a book about a unicorn, a fantasy book, and that when she met Robert Altman, she told him that she was doing this, and he was intrigued. And so it sort of it went on from there. And she wasn't so sure she wanted to do it, but he talked her into it. He was quite a persuasive man. I think the thing with Altman is he's very allowing of other people's capabilities and creativity. He's not threatened by it, and some creative people are. They don't like it if you start coming up with ideas. As I found out when I got older and bossy and started saying to the director, why don't you put the camera here? Go, thank you, Catherine. I think I'll direct this. I learnt to hold my tongue eventually. I just got a bit cheeky. Been working so young, so often.